Yes. Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, and we are here with Beth Granger, and we're going to be talking about LinkedIn and doing some things, maybe just talk about what social selling's all about, maybe what you can do. We're in a new environment these days, so I just want to make sure that everybody's safe and sane out there. And also that, if you're not on LinkedIn or you're not watching this on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, there's other places you can find us. And so connect with me, subscribe, and leave a comment or two. Just saying. So Beth, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. And there's something I think it's very important to take care of before we talk about anything else.
Perfect.
Okay? All right. Give me a second. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Russ. Happy birthday to you. Blow it out.
Perfect. I love that.
Now I feel
That's very
better.
kind of you, Beth. I appreciate that.
Too bad I can't send this through to you, but happy birthday.
That's a wonderful thought. Thank you so much. My phone has been blowing up all morning, so it's like, okay, I'll get caught up with everyone. And the best birthday presents are the ones where I can share gifts with people around me. And so that's what the Pirate Broadcast is about. Sharing the beautiful people that are in the community and what is going on in their world. So we can meet some new faces, get some new friends, hang out and learn more. So
Cool.
Thank you, Beth, for taking the time out and joining us today. So
Glad to be here.
It's awesome.
I'm not used to being on the guest side
Oh,
of a live broadcast. I did one yesterday, and I realized, oh, this is different. I don't have to take care of the tech. I can just have the conversation. So thanks for inviting me.
Well, hopefully the whole process was easy to access and get into the room and everything that goes along with it. So
Absolutely.
my VAs are special. Mel and Devin are really sharp.
They did a great job sharing everything I needed to know, and so I'm sure they do a great job for you.
Oh, thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about the backstory in Beth and why LinkedIn and why you're here and how did you arrive at this place called LinkedIn?
By accident.
Yes.
So I started, to squish many years into a short statement. I started as a graphic designer, moved into branding, identity, online marketing, website strategy. And then about 11 years ago, I got laid off from a job. And I went to an amazing networking group that knew I was starting a business before I did. And I didn't even really have a business plan. I did web strategy. I did social media strategy and implementation at the time. Quickly decided I did not want to do that. And one of my clients said, "Hey, Beth, our sales team's coming in. Can you teach them to use LinkedIn?" And I had two thoughts at the time. Why do you need to be taught to use LinkedIn? And wait, you're going to pay me to teach you to use LinkedIn. And it just led me down this path.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. I love helping people find communities, build communities, take their in-person networking online, which right now, as you know, we're doing a lot of. And I have the patience to deal with people who may not be so comfortable with technology. Not everybody knows how to open another tab in their browser.
Yeah. I know. It's amazing.
Yeah. And it just, out of all the platforms, it just clicked for me. And I feel like a detective a little bit. I figure things out and then I share what I figure out. So
that's brilliant. I just want to hop in. Gabriel says, good Russ Johns, Beth Granger, Pirate Broadcast.
Hey, Gabriel. And I see other people that we both know, I think. I see Randall and Frank and Seth, other early risers.
Other early risers. Happy birthday, Russ. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And so as you're training this, I'm really curious because I'm fascinated by this. Uh, because there's been a few changes in LinkedIn,
Many.
and I'm I'm fascinated and frustrated with some of them.
Yes. Yes.
So maybe you can share a couple of your top list of your top 10 list of things that are really uh, exciting for you,
Okay.
and then maybe a couple of things that are not so exciting. So
Okay. So let's see. Well, something that's really recent that not everybody has yet is called featured. It's a featured section. And what that does is it takes formerly the media that you could attach to your about section and
yeah,
makes it a separate section and gives it more space so that people are likely to see it and click on it.
yeah,
And my favorite part is that it allows you to feature a post. So normally in the past, right, you would do a post and maybe it would get a lot of engagement and then it would just disappear
yeah,
because of all the other posts. And you can now sort of pin or feature. So I really like that.
yeah. We're getting a little static in your audio feed a little bit. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Is
So
this better? I could try it without the headphones.
no, that's okay. I don't know that it
I'm
may be
not
the
hearing it.
internet. It may be
Mm.
the internet. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not hearing it.
yeah, okay.
People
All right.
watching, are you hearing it?
Are you hearing it? Is anybody hearing it?
I know with everybody working from home now and all of that, that there are definitely people are definitely having some issues.
Well, actually, StreamYard had a message on their feed this morning saying, "Hey, doing high volumes of there's a lot of platforms that are having challenges." So I just want to make sure that we're okay. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Plus, it's people's own. I was on a networking call through Zoom, and somebody was having horrible delay issues, and we thought maybe it was their internet connection, but we think it had something to do with their actual. They were using a Chromebook, and I don't know. So
yeah,
technology.
technology, love to hate it.
Yeah. So let's see other things that I'm liking. Well, of course, LinkedIn Live. I love it. I love going live every week, and it's just a fabulous way, I think, to get out there and have conversations on
Yeah.
the LinkedIn platform. Um,
So, how long have you had LinkedIn Live?
since July.
Okay, so you got involved and got it early, and
Yep. Yep.
uh, I'm just
And
surprised. Have you seen any changes or any indication that will allow us to think that there's going to be improvements in the platform?
I do not know. So I haven't seen any changes yet. What I wonder is, will they roll it out to anyone and everyone and then make changes? Well, you never know with LinkedIn.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So
I would just if they had one thing, it would be that I could schedule an event where people could click on a link and go to
yes,
a live,
yes.
like all of the other platforms that
Well, they have the event feature. So how great would it be if you could do an event
yeah,
for your,
just
yeah.
put it in the event feature. And the thing that's lacking in the event feature is that it's only for physical events.
Well, they did say that you can now do it for a remote event, but I haven't been able to. They've shown people doing it, but I haven't been able to pick remote or virtual, or it doesn't seem to
Yeah,
work for me.
I've not seen.
Yeah,
I'll have to go
yeah.
back and look at that. But
What I'd like is, or what I wonder is, if they will pick one platform. You know how we're using StreamYard. Will they make it easier for people who may not be as technically savvy as we are to go to go live with just a click of a button? So we'll see what happens.
yeah,
What
well,
else?
and I don't know what platform you use to go live.
StreamYard.
I use StreamYard,
Yeah.
and Dan and Gage are awesome,
Amazing. Amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, this is a no-brainer because I started way back with OBS and some of the other
Uh,
platforms out there, and it's just like, and it's interesting how it's evolved and how um, easy you can make it look. And
Yes.
it's still, for somebody that's involved in technology, it feels not too, compared to what it used to feel like, it's easier.
Oh,
But
it's
it's
so
not,
easy. It's
if you're
great.
not involved in tech, it's not necessarily an easy process.
I
So
would like, I really wish list, LinkedIn, if you're listening,
yeah.
wish list would be to be able to see the comments through StreamYard instead of having to constantly look at your
Oh,
phone
high
or
five on that
whatever.
one. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Just
But
send us the comments. It would be easier. Because I mean, you just come up here. Yeah, we hear the sound of the problem. Not using so much bandwidth. Yeah, Gabriel, fighting back and forth with LinkedIn support to get access to LinkedIn Live. And then Jared,
hey, Jared, how are
great
you?
to see you. And then Gabriel uses StreamYard and also reading the comments in StreamYards. So those are our LinkedIn. I know you listen to this. I know you listen to this broadcast all the time. So
We
get it
love
there.
the platform.
We love the
There are some
platform.
tweaks that would really help.
Just a few adjustments along the way.
Exactly. So let's see. What are my other favorite things? Wow. You know, it's just the ability to find, I love the ability to find people, make introductions for people.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of networking now virtually,
Yeah.
formerly in person.
Yeah.
And we are getting an echo. The ability to look through connections and make a specific request of a referral partner rather than just saying, I want to meet attorneys. You can say a specific name and it makes it a much easier ask and easier for somebody to say yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess that's the search. I like the search.
I like the search. I like the search as well. What's your thoughts and comments about the voicemail feature, the audio response from your phone?
I think it's really fun. I don't use it a whole lot, but I love when you've been text communicating or typing to communicate for so long, and then you hear someone's voice, you feel like you know them so much better. And for instance, I've had people contact me from Australia, and I guess in my head I knew they were from Australia, but I heard their accent, and it just made it a closer connection, I think.
It's so funny. Well, I've heard it both ways. Some people love it and some people hate it. It's like,
Really?
why are you leaving me a voicemail? It's like, no, just give me a text message. No, it's like, why would I want to listen to your voicemail? It's like, it's one of those things that you just have to go through and you have to understand that you can't please everyone all of the time. So it's one of the things that you have to really kind of adjust and get through and put it out in perspective.
In fact, I think somebody, Randall, just says he loves the voicemail feature. I think you may have actually left me one and I haven't responded, so I will.
Yeah. Oh, and Randall's awesome. He's been doing the show. He's been doing it in the food industry, and we voicemail back and forth all the time. And it's just like, hey, it's just simple. You just push the button and leave a message and share your thoughts. And it's easier, a little bit easier. I like video. I like sharing video and sending out a video message. And I use Dub too for my video messages. And Dub is, Ruben and the team over there are just, it's one of my favorite apps right now.
I haven't used that one. I've used Loom.
Loom is awesome.
That similar?
It's think of Loom and then think of putting it on the top of your landing page with a call to action.
Interesting.
So
I'm gonna have to check it out. Writing it down.
Yeah. Check that out. Dub.com. If you go to russjohns.com/dub,
there you go.
It'll take you right there.
So what else? Let's see on my top 10 list. I don't know how many we're up to, but I like that just in general, it's a place where you control the message about yourself.
Yeah.
because you don't get to do that everywhere. You can on your website, of course,
Mhm.
but they make it really easy to build your presence in the way that you want to.
And a lot of people, I think, still, I mean, I still run into people all the time that, well, I thought that was just for resumes. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, I cannot imagine that people are still
I know.
thinking that way. And it's like, you are missing out. You are missing out so much on the opportunity to have conversations with people and
Absolutely.
do an outreach.
I mean, the great thing to me is you can join conversations and meet people, and it's just an amazing supportive place, and there are communities that form. So people that support
Yeah.
each other and have these really interesting conversations. I had a conversation the other day about how the sales process has changed since this whole coronavirus situation. And yeah, you just get to have really great conversations, typically about work. And yeah, I really like it.
I really like it as well. Let's shift gears and talk about social selling.
Uh-huh.
I think it's going to be, I don't, it's not going away, obviously.
Nope.
And I think it's really important for us to understand that how we sell, how we have conversations, and how we pursue relationships. I mean, I love the relationship building, long-term, you know, relationship
Yep.
kind of mentality. I've always been that way. Not a commodity transactional based selling, but it's more longer term because of what I have to offer.
Right.
And I think I think LinkedIn lends itself to that a lot more.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Absolutely.
so what are some things that you could suggest or share with us, Beth, that we could maybe take and reflect on and maybe adopt in our future?
Sure. Well, to me, just for people, in case there are people joining us that think of social selling as e-commerce, that's not how I think of it.
Mm,
I I don't think of it as the equivalent of cold calling, although some people use LinkedIn in that way. Please don't.
please don't.
Um, I think of it as taking all your networking activity and moving it online. So for me, making introductions for my referral partners, that's part of my social selling because I'm helping them. They may help me. They'll understand what I'm all about.
Hmm.
Finding people that you think would be a good client or prospect, and then being able to get an introduction to them because you have one person in between you. That whole second connections, those are your clients and your prospects, and there are ways to authentically connect with them, be introduced to them, or introduce yourself,
Yeah.
and start a dialogue. And my favorite thing, this is I just the magic thing, right? If they're active on LinkedIn and they share content, read their content, get involved in the conversation. You can start a conversation with somebody that would not take your phone call.
Yeah.
It's magic. It's really
Absolutely. Absolutely.
fabulous.
And I use Sales Navigator,
Mhm.
and it actually tells you who's posted in the last 30 days.
Yeah, that's a little broken though. I
Is
I,
it
I
broken?
put in a request. It's not always 100% accurate.
Okay.
Apparently they're working on it, but yes, I love that feature as well because
Well, they've been working on Sales Navigator for a long time.
yeah,
It's like it's not necessarily everything that you would want it to be. However, the concept of being able to identify who is posting and who is active
yes,
and narrow that down and filter it out
right,
is something that is valuable because then that way you're actually you're not searching for names or people or identifying groups that are not active and haven't been there for a long time.
exactly. Why go for the lower hanging fruit or the people that are more willing to engage because they're already active.
Well, and if they're active, they understand why we're here. We are here for business. We are here for community, and it's really an act of, we're offering services. We're offering value. We want to be able to help people, and
Yep.
in most cases, Some people there's always going to be nefarious folks that just want to do damage out there. And it's like, go somewhere else, folks.
Luckily, it seems like there's less of that on LinkedIn, and I'm really glad about that.
Yeah. I do appreciate that. Once in a while, I still get the, connection request, and then all of a sudden it's just a barrage of
sales pitch or whatever.
Pitch.
Yep.
Yeah. Connect and pitch. No, thank you. No, thank you. It reminds me of a time where I used to do telephones. I used to program telephones. I was in charge of communications and I created a special voicemail tree that when people would call me that I wouldn't want to talk to, I would put them in this voicemail. Let me transfer you. And it was like, you couldn't get out of it. The only way you could get out of it is hang up.
Oh, you're evil. In the best way.
In the best way. It's like, why are you calling me again? It's like, here you go. And so, but the same thing, that's almost what I want to create for someone else. It's like, okay, it's like, here, don't do this. Here, let me share with you what you need to do and give them a lesson, and then just start sending them messages on why it's not a good idea. Yep. I don't know.
Exactly.
And I think, well, it's not really worth my time. It's like, no, if they haven't learned it by now, they're not going to learn it. So
yeah, you're right.
I guess even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
They wouldn't do it if it didn't work some percent of the time, I imagine, but
I'm guessing, I don't know. It hasn't worked for me. I mean, it's like, I just can't do it. It's like, It's like, why would you want to do it?
But it's just so amazing that you can find so specifically the people that you want to engage with.
Yeah. So who's a good introduction for you?
Most of my clients,
right now that things are a little changing and evolving, and speakers especially are getting a little bit challenged by the environment, right?
Well, what's interesting is I had a client where I spoke at their sales meeting last summer that reached out to me 2 weeks ago and said, we're all working from home. We've had some new hires since you spoke. Can you do that same thing virtually for us next week? And so I did.
That's awesome.
So I think people are looking at, all right, we're working from home. How do we can't go out and have an in-person sales meeting. How do we do it? And so I've been able to help them. My typical client is somebody in business to business or professional services, people who build their business through referrals. But then in some cases, it's just random, anybody, an individual who's looking to grow their business or professional brand, maybe get a new job. I mostly work with business owners or sales teams, but not always. Yeah. So I learn about really cool stuff because everybody has different, businesses. I learn about insurance and law and technology and healthcare. And so it's been great.
I love the idea of learning about other industries and how it all comes together. And, it's almost like going down the industrial district and you see all these buildings that have names on them that you have no idea what they do.
Right. Like, what do you do?
What do you do?
There's just amazing stuff that you wouldn't think about. Yeah.
And it's just amazing how we can actually build connections in that virtually now. And I don't know if for myself, I think this is and I've been remote worker for 10 years. I mean, it's just been, for the most part, I've been remote worker and, been able to be flexible and work wherever I need to.
Oh, we have a question I noticed.
Oh, okay.
Mindy asked, what are the thoughts about connections that say LinkedIn is becoming too much like Facebook? I don't think it is. That means if people are using it in that way, like in my perspective, like sharing a meme or a quote or a card. Well, and a card, even certain things could work.
But a cat meme.
If they're doing it too much that way, then maybe they're not the right connection for you. So I don't see a lot of that because my connections are using it well. I don't see it as too noisy. I see a lot of really good content. So, and yes, I know they added the whole reactions, and I don't know if I care whether somebody clicks like or celebrate or, but I think they need to keep up and get people who want to use the platform. So they have to try things.
Yeah, I think it's a process of experimentation. I think it's a process of, I don't think it's too Facebooky at this point in time. I do, however, imagine that what I've seen is that it seems like the community polices some of that stuff.
Yes.
You know, because I've seen some posts that said, "Hey, this is not what we need on LinkedIn. Go to Facebook."
But also, I also think it's up to the user how they want to use it. So maybe not that it's wrong to police it, but if somebody wants to use it, let them use it in that way, and they'll either get the reaction that they want or they won't.
Yeah,
is the way I was thinking about it.
Well, the return on your whatever the return is that you're searching for, it will happen.
Right. Like when you see something that's obviously a tweet come through as a post, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. So what have you noticed in terms of posting and activities and things like that? Because, I'm doing video all the time. So my feed is kind of full of that, which is not necessarily, sometimes I feel punished for creating so much content because the numbers have reduced compared to when I first started going live. However, I mean, I'm not focused on the numbers as much as creating the value. And so it's really a part of the equation of how can I diversify my feed in order to accomplish a better outcome, I guess, or more visibility. And it seems like LinkedIn is really narrowing the focus down on who is engaging with your post. And those people are actually seeing your post and others are not seeing your post. And it's like, okay, well, I want other people to see my post as well. So how do you do that? Well, you can buy an ad.
It is interesting. And it's always an experiment really to see what's working. And so it's the same thing as on other platforms where you see posts and you might assume that other people that you're connected to aren't sharing information, but yet they are, and you just don't see it. I think it would be really cool. Hey, LinkedIn, again, if you're listening, to be able to, just like you can have a Twitter list, it would be really cool to have lists.
Oh, that would be
in the free version, because you can sort of do it in Sales Navigator, right? By making a list but it'd be kind of cool to have lists to be able to, if there's a certain topic, because not everybody uses hashtags. So if there's a certain topic you're interested in or a group of people that you want to make sure you always see their posts, I think it'd be great to be able to do that.
And if you're not following the Pirate Broadcast hashtag, please follow the Pirate Broadcast hashtag.
Do it.
Do it right now. Yeah, it's so funny to see, watch the evolution and everything else. And sometimes you just have to say, hey, I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to continue to do what I'm doing. And I know that the platform will evolve going back and forth and it will change over time. And
absolutely.
I heard that I heard a story that they were going to start stories in.
I heard that as well, or that they were thinking about it.
Yeah. It's like, well, I wish they would fix live first.
How about fix groups first?
Oh, that would be nice.
There's so much potential for them that I don't think is happening. Like for instance, right now, there's so much conversation and support in Facebook groups, whether geographic because of your town, like, hey, where can I find toilet paper, to other things. And I would love to be able to have those conversations in groups on LinkedIn, and it just doesn't happen as much.
Yeah. No. Well, And here's the deal. I mean, we are having a wonderful time on LinkedIn. We get to do
Yeah.
something like this on LinkedIn Live, and
So
it's a
much
huge
fun.
benefit. And thank you so much, LinkedIn, for all you do and you put out there and you produce results. And you know, I pay for LinkedIn. I
Me
invest
too.
in LinkedIn every month, so I anticipate that it will continue to improve and grow and evolve. And so, things like this, events like this are really great to have conversations around it and, open up the dialogue and say, okay, well,
Yeah,
what are you seeing? Here's what I see. Here's what my experience is. And it's just a matter of being able to go back and forth and see how we can evolve. So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
well, Beth, this has been wonderful. I
So
love
much
the fact that we get
fun.
to catch up and connect. So when is your
And I'll
live
try to
schedule?
send you your cupcake through the computer. Um,
Awesome.
so I don't do my live at the same time or day of the week. I know I should. It would make it easier for people to know, but I typically do it Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday at my lunchtime. But occasionally, I've done it at other times. For instance, I may have someone on from Australia, so we'll find a time that works for both of us.
Cool. Cool. Well, I'll look forward to seeing it and catching up with you in the near future and everything else. So,
Thanks so much, and happy birthday.
and thank you so much. That was very kind and considerate, Beth. I really appreciate you and thank you so much. And kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And you enjoy the day. And it's a Friday too, isn't it?